Greetings family, one love. Jesse Tree here. I wanted to bring you into our fire restoration project. We had a fire on our farm last summer, and so what we're doing now is recreating this as a food forest with zone hardy plants. And today's Arbor Day, so I wanted to speak a little bit to the benefit of trees. And it's taking time to plant a tree is a little way in which we can all do something about carbon sequestration and food sovereignty. So I just want to bring your awareness to that and to the fact that we can take the environmental situation in our own hands and be empowered through just having fun planting trees. I also want to give a shout out to my brother Tree Man in India. This man plants more trees than any other person I know. I plant plenty of trees as a landscaper and homesteader, but this guy is out there every single day and has been for years, planting trees upon trees, encouraging people like myself from other nations to also enjoin people to planting more trees, just to help ameliorate our collective situation and make the world a better place. So I wanted to give you a quick tutorial on how I like to plant trees. These are some bare root. I got some bare root trees from Fox River Farm, and they're like a great place to get some fairly cheap bare root trees, and they guarantee their trees. If you follow their planting instructions, which is essentially what I'm about to do, then they'll guarantee it if it doesn't come back the next year. So here we have 6 Manchurian Apricots. So those are zone hardy to where we're at here in northern New Mexico in the desert southwest. And then we also have 2 elderberries we're going to put down in the established food forest, as well as a juneberry. So let's get this party started a little bit here and unwrap our package. They suggest you soak the roots overnight to kind of break their dormancy a little bit. And you want to do it as soon as possible after receiving your trees, of course. See if, they're still together here. So here are our apricots, and I see apricots happening out in the hills out here, even where birds have dropped their seeds in fortuitous places. So what I've created here, what we're doing for our restoration project, in terms of that, is this fire, took down all these trees. So we cut what we could and made it into firewood and put everything else on contour here on the hill, so it can capture the surface runoff. I'm also going to dig swales. So this is a mini swale. I didn't have time to dig the whole swale, but what we're going to do is the same thing I've done here, is make a ditch and pull the dirt you excavate up on top of the swale. And so you're burying the wood lignins and from the fire biochar, and we put leaves and stuff on it to just give things to feed the soil. And this, when this goes the entire length of this swale here, it's going to capture a very large amount of water and just absorb it into the ground. So this will, and I'm also going to be capturing water from up on the street. The street is right there, and I'm going to open places for the water to come into the property and fill these. So going to utilize that whole thing in the southwest, in the desert particularly. It's good to sort of plant water before you plant plants by doing some rainwater harvesting design. So we got our trees here. That kind of explains what we're doing with this planting situation. And even as this is, I can now come out here with buckets and continue to nurture it in the meanwhile. And you're going to want to do that until you start to see them get established. So I'm just going to give them some amendments here. This is some nice organic compost from my friends at Reunity Resources in Santa Fe, if you're local and looking for good amendments. And then we're going to fill our hole with water here. Let that drain in a little bit as sort of a battery. Next, we're going to take one of our plants. Ideally, you would wait for this all to infiltrate in, but for the purpose of the video and making it quick, I'm going to just do a quick job of it. So you want to make sure that the top of the root is submerged at the ground level where you want it buried. So this is going to be our ground level for this swale. I'm going to mix that soil in together a little bit. And just kind of gently work it onto those roots. Oh. Yeah. Sticky butt? No, stick. Never know what comes in off the street and what have you. So there we go. Nice and planted in. Now you're going to want to mulch it a little bit. So I like straw mulch. It's cheap. And you can use a lot of it. And once again, in the Southwest, you're going to want to give this plant as much of a chance as possible. So we're going to mulch it pretty deep. And I'm going to try to, because it's windy and it's fall, I'm going to try to keep these in flakes like that. And keep the base of the tree from being too wrapped in mulch, but keep that ground wet. And then we're going to come over afterwards and just water it in. And this mulch will make it so I don't wash away at the roots too much. It'll keep the soil temperature down. All that will biodegrade into soil. And now we have our first tree of the food forest planted. I'm going to plant 6 more. Some of these are in honor of my son, who had a healing crisis this last year. And we had donors for our GoFundMe that we promised we would plant some trees in their names. So thank you one and all who did contribute, and hope you got something out of this. Hope you can hear me, and I hope you get out there and plant a tree and connect with the beauty and magic of trees. They're like cell towers of love that bring us food and oxygen, and they're our ancestors in many ways. So let's give them thanks and plant it out and take responsibility and have a good time. So, yeah, thanks again. One love.